Thanks for joining us on the weekend edition of National Focus. I'm Kerdisha St. In the headlines, infrastructural developments for the Mahaut constituency well underway, and housing development in Bellevue Chopin said to be model community for Dominica. Stay with us for details of these and other stories after this. Welcome back. On Friday, a few members of cabinet and the Chinese ambassador to Dominica visited the site of the new housing development in Bellevue Chopin. The development is said to be a model community for the rest of Dominica, with the structures built using top quality labor and materials. Kimani Seja was on that visit and brings this report.
A commitment to build back better and stronger is the driving force behind the top-quality housing that is emerging in the southern community of Bellevue Chopin, where 340 units are being constructed to house the Petite Savane community, which was ravaged by Tropical Storm Erica 2 years ago. Work to ensure that these families can receive their brand new homes in the quickest possible time is progressing steadily, and the Honorable Minister for Housing, Reginald Ostry, is pleased that come January 1, 2018, developer of the project, Montreal Management Consultants EST, will deliver to government 201 houses fully ready to be occupied. On Friday, Honorable Ostry, accompanied by the Honorable Member of Parliament for Petite Savane, Dr. Kenneth Daru, the Honorable Minister for Planning and Economic Development, Dr. John Colin McIntyre, Ambassador of China to Dominica, His Excellency Liu Kun, and Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Housing, Lucien Blackmore, visited the site of the new development. For the Housing Minister, the housing development epitomizes the Build Back Better concept pronounced by the Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Roosevelt Skerrit, after Tropical Storm Erica. The Honorable Minister is pleased that the vision for the development is materializing.
Today we're just undergoing an official visit to the site to give you an indication as to exactly what is happening and where we're at. I can recall that many people didn't believe that was going to happen.
For the Honorable Member of Parliament for the Petite Savane constituency, Dr. Kenneth Daru, getting closer to delivering these brand new homes to the people of his constituency is a major accomplishment. The Honorable MP reiterated that he is in a much better place now than he was 2 years ago. He looks forward to handing over the keys to the first 201 units to his constituents.
So I'm really happy, as I said, I'm really in a much better place now as a Member of Parliament than I was here a year ago when there was a lot of uncertainty. Yes, the project had been promised and committed, but I think that the actual work has begun and is in really, not just begun, I mean we're really in a, as you can see, we're going in a rapid rapid progress, and the fact that the project manager would have assured us that come the beginning of 2018 that we would have 200 and somebody units available. I think this is good news and augurs well for the Petite Savane people. I look forward to handing the keys over to the first set of residents, and as I said, I must say that I am, as a Member of Parliament, I'm very pleased with government's response and commitment to the Petite Savane people.
The Honorable Minister for Planning, Dr. John Colin McIntyre, is also thrilled about the project. A project, he says, which could only be made possible through the Citizenship by Investment program.
Had it not been for the government CBI program and of course Dr. Hayden from MMC coming together and really putting this thought together, we'll be stuck not knowing how we'll be able to deliver to our people on time. And come January, first I'm understanding, somewhere around that time, the first set of apartments will be handed over turnkey to the government of Dominica with modern roads, modern, everything is going to be buried underneath. So it's the first time we're going to see some of that in Dominica. So we're happy in terms of the MMC and the team here, and of course our Chinese friends, keeping to that date of delivery, and of course looking to complete the rest of it so we can have a lovely project here. But all in all, I'm very happy and I'm very satisfied with the way we handle this project under our CBI program in a joint partnership with Dr. Hayden of MMC.
340 units are being constructed in 2- and 3-bedroom linear houses and 3- and 4-bedroom detached and semi-detached townhouse-styled units. The new community will also include several features including sporting facilities and commercial spaces. The rest of the community is set to be handed over to government by June 30, 2018. Project manager Christopher Timmins is not daunted by the challenges of rainfall and lack of materials, which poses a challenge to the project. He stresses that his team is committed to staying on schedule and delivering on time.
We are presently holding the schedule. The weather hasn't been kind to us. We perhaps could have been a month further along, but we had a particularly wet, dry season. In actual fact, since the 1st of January, we've only had 10 dry days in the whole year so far. But, you know, it's construction. We know where we are. We're in Bellevue. It rains. We just have to get on with it.
Meantime, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Housing, Lucien Blackmore, says in keeping with government's Build Back Better concept, the new housing development in Bellevue Chopin has been designed and is being constructed to withstand natural disasters.
The building type that we have shown here today is what we refer to as complete reinforced concrete cladding. It means all the walls and all the foundation and everything in the buildings are all of reinforced concrete element. Of course, you will realize not only that have the structural capacity for ensuring that all the various forms of loading that the building could be exerted to, whether it's talking about the seismic load coming from earthquakes, whether you're looking at wind, or whether you're looking at the situation of possible flooding, that the building in itself is designed and constructed in such a way that it can withstand very safely all these conditions.
Blackmore says comprehensive studies of at least 10 sites were conducted, following which Bellevue Chopin was selected as the most suitable site for the resettlement. A team from the University of the West Indies conducted comprehensive studies to advise government of the best environmental solutions for the development.
We had coming up from America 10 potential sites over the country, from which the Bellevue Chopin site was one. And so we had to get the UE team up here to undertake the necessary seismic surveys in terms of the geological condition of the ground, the geotechnical aspect of the ground, to ensure that the ground had the bearing capacity and we could design the foundation and the roadworks and the other infrastructure work to comply to best practice and ensuring that what we do would be done very safely. We had to do very stringent hydrology analysis from the same UE team as well to ensure at the end of the day that we had effective drainage on the site. And of course, that will also have to ensure that there's a sewage treatment that we have to do, well, also the environmental consideration. But we had to ensure that from the drainage point of view, that it was adequately and properly done to ensure that even improvement in the whole slope stability of the area.
A special resettlement committee comprising P.S. Blackmore as chairperson, the chief physical planner, chief development officer, the housing manager, an engineer and a social planner ensured that the standards adopted for the new development were in conformity with best practices.
All the buildings that you've seen here today had to be subjected to physical planning requirement and more so local building codes and construction practices. And I can tell you without any fear of contradiction that the contractor himself or the developer, and more so Mr. Chris Timmins, can attest to the sometime hard time or difference of opinion we'll have. I recall very distinctively on a Saturday that Mr. Anthony and myself and Chris had a very heated debate. And I told him at the end of the day, that is absolutely necessary. We will do it on points of objectivity, on terms of constructiveness, and at the end of the day, it's all with a betterment for what we're about to do. At the end of the day, we want to ensure from government that we keep the promise to the people, and for he as a developer, that he will feel proud even 10 years or 20 years later on, that the product he developed to Dominica was of best practice.
China's ambassador to Dominica, His Excellency Liu Kun, also added his voice to assure the integrity of the work undertaken by Chinese firm China Civil Engineering Construction Corporation on the project. The firm is responsible for constructing all the residential units. The Chinese ambassador expressed his confidence that the firm will provide top quality work and deliver the project on time.
The weather in Dominica is rainy season now. A lot of rain is difficult for the workers to doing the jobs now. Anyway, although we have some difficulties, the project manager of Chinese project manager promised me that they will try their best to finish this project as the schedule, and also with the best quality. Okay, and I'm confident as the Chinese ambassador that they will finish this project at the first class quality and also just within the schedule of the project.
GIS will continue to update you on the progress of works at this major development in subsequent newscasts. Kimani Serja for GIS News.